Conant Harp Improv Challenge that I'm starting tomorrow. It's a 5-day Harp Improv Challenge. I want to show you what it's about. And I want to tell you that today is a live kickoff webinar. Now, the challenge is free and the challenge is all pre-recorded. And today's webinar will be live streamed and also it will be recorded as well. So I just wanted to let you know. Let me just tell you what this is all about. I'm Deborah Henson-Conant, and I've written a piece called Baroque Flamenco that is played all throughout the world. I'm about to share a 5-day challenge that is all about taking this piece that looks complicated on the page and making it super simple and showing you how to improvise on it. You being a harpist who wants to express yourself with your instrument, who wants to free yourself from the page, learn how to improvise, learn how to be free and expressive with your instrument at whatever level you're at. So I want to show you something. So this piece, it's got 3 different parts to it. And I'll break that down in a minute. So the piece is an idea, it is a structure, and it is a way of playing. So, and this is true of any piece. So when I break this down for you, you'll see how you could break down any piece to play it in a simpler way. So for example, this is how the melody of this piece is written. Notice how many fingers I have on the string. So it sounds like this. So it's a little bit tricky, but you could also play it like this. So you can change the tempo. You can notice, I'll just do that again. Notice there's not as many fingers on the strings and I'm playing it slower. And it's still the same melody. You can make it even simpler and it's still the same melody and it is beautiful. Notice now I only have 1 finger on the right hand, 2 fingers on the left hand. So that's an example of taking a melody that's been created in a certain way, simplifying it to its most simple form, which is just the melody and a little bit of harmony. And being able to play it at any tempo and being able to play it with absolute musicality, because being able to play with musicality has nothing to do with how many notes you're playing. It can be done with a single note. Well, I'm going to put more than a single note, but I'm going to put 2 notes in the left hand. I can even leave notes out. The point is to be able to really connect with it. And that's what I do in this challenge. This challenge, the challenge is to challenge yourself to let it be easy. Let me break it down for you and then actually ground into that way of playing that you can do. And for anybody who's watching this right now, I want you to know that you can, the link to join should be in whatever post this is with, because this is going out to a bunch of different places. And you can also click the little QR code that's up there. Right now, I just want to break it down for you. So there's 3 different parts to this piece, and you don't even need to know all the 3 different parts. You can just learn 2 of them. So for every piece, there is an idea, there's a structure, there's style, and there are techniques. But we're just going to look right now at the idea and the structure. So the idea of this piece is that there's 2 different parts of it, and you can go back and forth between them. One of them is almost like a home free, a safe place. This melody, once you learn it, at whatever tempo, it becomes a safe place to come back to. The alternating or contrasting section is an improv section. So what does that mean? It means that there is a structure that we follow and we improvise over it. The structure that we follow can sound like this. It can sound like this. It can. It can also sound like this. It can also sound like this. It's not worse, it's just different. It's a different style, it's a different tempo. What's important, the idea there, the compositional construct is this. That's what holds it together. And notice that that exists in every way that I play it. It exists like this. I've just added stylistic elements, melody, rhythm, but that thing is remaining the same. Even if I move, even if I just don't go dun, 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 even if I go dun, 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 even if I make it more complicated, the fundamental thing that's happening, the idea is that down here it's going dum, 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 dum. Even if it goes twice that time, dum, 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 dum. Do you have to play it like that? Absolutely not. You can play it like this. It's still the same piece. It's still the same idea. You're still improvising with it. And in fact, it started out this way, but I'll tell you that story in the webinar today. What I want to show you today is what it means to break a piece down so that you can start playing it. So that instead of this concept of like, here's the piece and it's like this and it's got all these things and it's on the page and you got to play it right and you got to start here and you got to learn it and it's got to go like this. That's not how I conceive of music and it's not how I teach music. Music has a structure. There's a foundation, like the framework of a house. The framework of a house doesn't have fancy walls and bedroom, you don't have to worry about what kind of chenille bed cloth you have or what the framework of a house is the framework of a house. It is something that you will build other things on, but it is beautiful. This is the framework of the piece. The framework of the piece is that it's got this melody. And it's got this improv section that has to do with this movement in the bass. And that's it. Like that's what the piece is alternating between the two. You can then start learning. Once you get comfortable with that, you can start adding patterns up above. You can make them move, or you can keep them still. You do what you can, whatever it is, and you're playing the piece just as you are. And you go back to the melody. And then you go on another adventure, which may take longer to go down, but it still just goes down that scale. When you get comfortable, you can noodle with your right hand. You can take a pattern and move it around. You can play arpeggios piece. And you can even slow it down. It's got this form and it supports learning to improvise. It was the first piece that I ever learned to improvise on. And I'll tell you this story later on today at the webinar about how that happened and how first I thought, well, I had to be a good harpist and play exactly the notes on the page, and how I was in a situation where I actually had to improvise. I will also be teaching you in this, in the 5-day challenge, some of the techniques that over years I learned could be part of this piece. So it's really fun sometimes to add techniques. But if you are, for example, a therapeutic musician, you can use this same structure to improvise ad infinitum and in a way that would allow you to actually focus on the person that you're with. You always come back to this melody that I played, and then you have this section where you could literally stop and talk to someone. Or say something, or play, play music. It is a structure. It is a framework. You have this framework. Now you can also do this framework. And I think I show you a little bit of those rhythms as well, but I also show you something that's really, really fun. I'll just show you a little bit today, but you'll learn more in the challenge. There's a technique that comes along with this if you want to do it. And that is that you can learn to strum the harp as well. And that's why this piece is called Baroque Flamenco. It comes from a Baroque, the melody comes from a Baroque composer, but you can expand it. You can create all this contrast, including even creating the drama of this special technique. So this piece is a wonderful opportunity to learn how to break down music, how to create a framework for improvisation, and how to be able to add techniques if you want them, if it works for you in the way that you're playing. But the beauty of this piece and the beauty of this challenge is that by the end of 5 days, you are playing a piece. Depending on your technical level, you may be playing, and you may be playing, or you may be playing it like this. Or you may be playing it like this. With these very simple with those two simple sections. It's a beautiful piece, no matter how you play it. And the beauty of the challenge is that you learn that you can develop a playable, beautiful framework for music and for improvisation in 5 days. So I hope that you will join me. Again, just click the little QR code or the link that's in the post here and learn more about it. If you can, come to the webinar today where I'll be breaking it down and telling the story of how I developed this piece from a very simple Baroque piece into something that's wild, but that doesn't have to be wild. That can still be simple. You can take the same journey with this piece that I took. I took the journey from an adult beginner who could not read music and needed something very simple to play. This allowed me to do it. Over time, I took the journey to developing something that allows me absolute and complete full self-expression. That's what I love to teach. I love to teach how to break pieces down to their simplest components so that you can be playing them now, so that they become a vehicle, an opportunity, a lifelong friend for you to then develop full creative expression at whatever level you're at. That means you can fully express yourself now with the piece, and then it continues to expand over your lifetime. It's a different way of thinking of music. For me, every piece is a lifelong friend. Like, I'm never done. I still love, I've been working on the railroad or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Every piece offers a lifetime of exploration. And that's a way of thinking that I was taught as a child. And now I love to teach it to others because it gives you immediate self-expression. And then it gives you a lifetime of adventure with music. So I hope you will join me. And I look forward to this adventure every year. It's so fun to see how much people learn from it, how, the freedom that they talk about that they get from it, and then getting to actually see them play with that beautiful freedom. So if you were here, thank you for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi, Melanie. Yeah, and please, if you know a harpist or if you're already in the challenge, send your friends. If you know a harpist, send them to this. This is where freedom begins, in pieces like this, in being able to break them down and being able to play them now and now and now and now and now and now and now as you expand. All right, I'll see you hopefully later today and definitely in the challenge. Farewell, go forth and harp on your full self-expression.